What's going on here? So this is Juju Oliveira, also known as Juju Do Pix. You saw how she looks like now? This is how she used to look like. So what happened to her? How did somebody go from looking like this to looking like this? Could it be from having an illegal substance injected into your face by an untrained, phony doctor? Well, maybe. Juju Do Pix is a Brazilian influencer who gained notoriety after getting 9 ounces, like literally over a cup of industrial strength silicone injected into her nose, her cheeks, her chin, and the rest of her jawline. Now this was back in 2017, and as you can see, it left her with a really lumpy, puffy, honestly deformed looking face. Now at first, she was actually fine with how she looked, but then she went to the internet, put her videos and her face out there, and was relentlessly mocked and made fun of for how she looked. So not surprisingly, the people on the internet were not very nice to her, and they made fun of her, calling names like Fofão. This is a character from a Brazilian television show, and as you can see, his face does kind of resemble hers, and some people say that Fofão's face resembles a scrotum. So Juju became very self-conscious about her appearance, and she proclaimed that she wanted to fix all that was done to her face. But she didn't have the money to do so, and this is where her notoriety really comes from. In September 2020, she launched a public fundraiser, and this was meant to raise upwards of $6,000 to help pay for corrective surgery for her face. Unfortunately, she was only able to raise a fraction of that. Well, then people got wind that she supposedly ended up using those funds to buy herself things like a new motorbike, and there was a ton of backlash directed to her from this. She denied that these claims were real and that she did not use that money to buy her motorbike. In fact, she said in a since deleted clip from Instagram, "Today I'm very sad, knowing that I'm not going to get the surgery, that I'm going to continue with my face like this, all deformed, and that people are going to continue to bully me. I decided not to get the operation because I opened the fundraiser, and all this time I kept asking, and the maximum I got was $2,800. She was hoping to get $6,000. I was going to use this money for my life. I could give it back, but as it was a donation, I donated it to an institution." So she is still publicly asking for money to help pay to repair her face, but what has happened since then? Honestly, not a whole lot surgically. So what exactly happened to Juju's face, and why did she have such a huge reaction to it? Well, according to The Sun, Juju had almost 9 ounces of industrial strength silicone once again injected into her face. Now, injecting medical grade silicone can leave you with painful lumps and bumps in your face, but injecting industrial strength silicone is a whole thing altogether. This can cause inflammation, infection, deposits of granulation tissue, and permanent lumps. And worst case scenario, if that silicone is injected into a blood vessel, it can literally kill off parts of your face. And if this doesn't happen immediately, the lumps, the bumps, the infection, the inflammation, it can happen many, many years down the line. It really is a gift that keeps on giving, unfortunately. And I'll tell you that no doctor in their right mind would ever inject industrial strength silicone into somebody. But now all this leads us to the question, what can be done to improve Juju's face? Well, let's start from the top and let's work our way down. As you can see, her eyes are almost slits. They used to be wide open in the past, but now it looks like you can barely see her eyeballs. This may be due to swelling from all that injections that she's had done. And so one thing that could be considered is an upper and lower blepharoplasty. Excess skin and even underlying fat can be removed during this operation, and if there's filler there, that can also be cut out as well. Now her cheeks are huge, and you can see she looks pretty jowly from it. One way to try to fix this would be to perform literally a facelift on her, where we make incisions on the sides around her ears, elevate that skin off of all that silicone, and then basically try to remove as much of that silicone as possible. Now, unfortunately, industrial strength silicone can harden along with scar tissue into what appears to be a rock. And you may need literally a hammer and a chisel to try to get this out of her face. And the problem with that is that there are nerves and blood vessels that can be going through and around these areas that you can damage and even cause potential paralysis of some of her facial muscles afterwards. And this is also something you would want to look at doing for her chin and her neck as well. Typically, we would make an incision underneath the chin, elevate that skin and try to remove all of that foreign body and foreign substance from underneath it. Now, there is a question of whether she even wants to have corrective surgery done. She could still be very happy with how she looks. And we all know that there are people who have excessive amounts of filler injected into their face, and they do it on purpose because they like how they look. Take a peek at this woman right up here where I reacted to a video of her getting what she claims to be the largest cheeks in the world. And she likes them. And remember, eat real food, use clean skincare, and auto-rejuvenate before you operate.